Hi, I'm Austin Gisriel, author of I Love It Here in Indiana, and I'm talking to the man who served as the inspiration for the character of Max McGowan, Mr. Mo Weber. Mo, it's wonderful to have you here.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to play the part of Mr. McGowan in this particular little episode.
Yeah, the real character is alive and well, I'm happy to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, Mo began his coaching career in 1946 at his alma mater, which was known as Winona State Teachers College back then. And he has coached or instructed from then until 2010, almost every season, finally hanging up the spikes in 2010. He's coached in camps and colleges and summer ball, and also managed in the semi-pro leagues in the Midwest in the 1950s. His Huron Elks won consecutive league championships in 52 and 53 when they were in the South Dakota State League, and then again in 1954 after they had moved to the Basin League. Such leagues serve as the basis for the fictional Old Mac League that you read about in the story, and it's this slice of your career, Mo, that I want to talk to you about. Let's begin right off the bat. You had some good ball players on those
Yes,
teams.
I did. My number one pitcher was Jack Britton, and this is a sad story because he didn't live long enough to be a participant. He had multiple sclerosis, and nobody understood what that was at the time. And he was in the major leagues for the first month of the fabulous Phillies in 1950, and every now and then he'd throw the ball in the direction of the plate. It would hit the ground in front of him or off, 40, 50 feet away from where it ought to be. But this didn't happen on a regular basis. It would happen just every now and then. And at that time, he went to psychiatrists, he went to people in the ministry, he went to psychologists, he talked to everyone, no one found the answer. And he drifted lower, and first thing you know, he ends up in the Sally League. And he had played with our first baseman, who had been a regular first baseman with Milwaukee. That was when Milwaukee was in the American Association. And I hired the first baseman. His name was Hank Ertman. Many years of pro ball. He was a school teacher. He had the summer off. And I think he was a Richie from Superior, Wisconsin. I'm trying to remember this. It goes back a few years. And he told me about Jack Britton. And I got in touch with Jack. He's a Springfield, Illinois player. He's a graduate of the University of Illinois. And we got him to come. And I remember his first night. We were playing Chamberlain, South Dakota, and he didn't do very well that night. Only because the pitches they were hitting were pitches that he shouldn't have been hitting. There's more to the story than just that, but after that first game, he was invincible. He was unbelievable. There were some nights he could have won the major leagues. He was phenomenal. He had been in the major leagues, and the only thing that kept him staying was this strange illness that no one could at that time diagnose and understand the depth of the illness. Some nights he was throwing as hard as you see some of the players throwing in the big leagues now, up in the 90s.
Well, in other words, with the talent you had was literally major league talent, and then you told me earlier that you had some guys that had experienced minor league ball, and then a couple guys who were just locals who were good enough to play in the league.
College players, and I had one pitcher pitched at Roanoke, and I'll never forget him. And Andy Swoller was his name. He was from Waterville, New York, left-hander. And we always talk about Satchel Paige being able to knock an eye out of the gnat. Well, Andy could do that. He didn't throw very, very hard. He had great control and wonderful location. Wonderful location.
Now, there's a scene in the story where your character, Max, goes out to the mound to make a pitching change, and the pitcher refuses to give him the ball. Now, did anything like that actually ever happen to you?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. The first year I was there was in 52. And I was at Winona State helping out Dr. McGowan, Luther McGowan, with Winona State. And our rival was St. Mary's College of Minnesota, which was in Winona, Minnesota, where Winona State Teachers College was located. And he was a little left-hander from St. Louis, little being probably 5'9", 5'10". And he was a good college pitcher. And he would be a good college pitcher today by virtue of the fact that he has, we say, good stuff and adequate speed and good control. And so we brought him out. And one night, almost every appearance he would win. He'd hold the other team to 2 or 3, and we'd get 3 or 4. Anyway, one night, and this is the first year I was there in '52, I had to take him out. And I walked out to the mound, and I can't recall just what I said, but I asked for the ball. We're going to bring in a reliever. And he said, I'm not going to give you the ball. I'm not coming out. Now, we averaged in '54, 1,600 people a game. We probably averaged in '52, maybe 800 a game, 700. I couldn't get the ball from him. And I know there are 800 people looking there, and it's very embarrassing because I was out there a long time and wandered around there as he wandered around too, around the mound.
So you were kind of chasing each other around the mound.
Yeah, but I had a situation in 1948 was worse than that. And finally I got Don Gass, that was his name, Don Gass, Gass. He was from St. Louis. Finally gave me the ball. And we went on from there. But anyway, I had a pitcher on our team back in '52. His name was Clinton Wager, Wager. And he played basketball with Oshkosh, and that was a big basketball town. Clint was pitching, and he was getting hit. And I went out and talked to him, and next time I went out, I wanted to talk to him again, that's why I didn't have the pitching. Now, the mounds were 15 inches high. They're lower now, but they were 15 inches high at that time. I'm 5 foot, 5.5 maybe? I'm a little shorter now. Anyway, it has to do with the rotation of the earth, I think. That's what I'm sure. Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, Clint's standing on top of the rubber, and the mound slopes down sharply. He's 6'7", 13 inches taller than I am anyway. And I'm down below him at least 12, 15 inches. And he wants out. So he steps to his right, and I step to my left. And he steps to my left, and I step to my right. And all this time, I'm backing up towards our dugout. About halfway to the dugout, I finally stopped playing this matchup in steps, and I got him back on the rubber. And I guess he finished the game, which we lost. But anyway, that's 2 times where I had trouble getting a pitcher off the mound and into the dugout, or not giving me the ball.
We had, Mo, we talked a little bit earlier that for those days, the early '50s, you were drawing a good salary.
Yes, I was. In 1950, I made $500 a month during the season. And I got my school system.
Because you were a teacher.
Yeah, I was teaching public school, 6th grade. I got my salary adjusted to be spread over 12 months. So in June, July, August, I got a check from them. Didn't amount to an awful lot. It was, that was the end of the first year. It was 51 I taught. So in 51, 52, I got $3,000 a year. Women who taught, whether they were widowed or divorced and had 2 or 3 kids, they got $2,600. Talk about discrimination and sexism and things of that nature.
Now, the title of the story is I Love It Here in Indiana, and I used several of your expressions for the character of Max that are your expressions, but you got to tell us that expression that's the title, I love it here in Indiana, where did that ever come from?
Well, you know, when you get older, people, by virtue of what they read in the paper and what they hear about people being elderly and forgetting, and I know people are wondering, gosh, this guy's so much older. And so I start talking, and they'll say something, I'll say, well, I'm from Indiana. And I live, they know it's Virginia, and I know it's Virginia, but I get that expression on my face, you know. In fact, I switched Halloween just last night. My mask, I have a different mask. I noticed today at lunch you didn't recognize me immediately. It's because I've got a different mask, which I'll wear all year. It makes me feel good because it makes, I can cut 3 or 4 years off. 80, I can pass for 83 or 84 now.
Well, I certainly appreciate you being here. We're not in Indiana. We're actually taping this, recording this in Newmarket, Virginia. And Mo, I appreciate you taking time to talk with us.
Well, I enjoy it. There's so much to talk about. You know, you can't really talk about baseball or any sport unless you have some background so that people know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you've certainly given them some background on what the days were like in the semi-pro leagues in the 50s. So again, I appreciate it very much.
That's great. I appreciate the opportunity. You're very generous in your time even to ask me, and it's been a real revelation for me to be interviewed. You know, at our level, collegiate summertime ball, it's not like the major leagues, and I'm very gratified and appreciative.
Well, thanks, Mo.